Welcome to Meeple Mentor. I'm Jared, and we're about to play American Psycho, a killer game. Let's take a look. I'll show you how. Feel free to pause the video as needed to follow along with your copy of the game. My goal is this video can not only teach you to play, but can be shown at the game table to help set up and teach the game at your next game session. As part of that goal, I've added chapter timestamps in the description to the different sections of the tutorial to easily recap relevant rules for you. American Psycho has two versions with minimal differences. The red box version is available everywhere, while the white box version is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. That one also includes a wooden chainsaw piece. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell below the video so you don't miss any of my latest content. The game of American Psycho is all about yuppie one-upmanship set in the world of high-stakes investment banking at Pierce & Pierce, as seen in the movie. It's primarily a trick-taking card game where you obtain valuable assets, gain reservations at trendy restaurants, maintain your personal appearance, and have a better business card than your colleagues. Through card play, you'll need to keep your psychotic rage in check and keep your murder count under control. Some players will be forced to collect murder cards after the meetings, which leads to a body count worth negative points at the end of the game, unless of course you've killed the most. It's a fun card game themed around murder, psychotic rage, and obsessions surrounding the setting of American Psycho. Let's take a look at how to set it up. Lay the game board in the middle of the table with the cufflink token over round 1 on the right. Shuffle the scene deck and set it face down at the top with the artwork shown. Set the larger cufflink token to the left of the board. The notepad cover token can sit to the right. Separate the 3 kinds of murder cards: songs, weapons, and victims. Shuffle each and place them below the board from left to right in that order. You'll see the icons at the bottom right. Remove all the special cards and confession cards from the deck of cards and set them aside for now. Depending on player count, you'll remove some numbered cards from each suit. If playing a 5-player game, keep them all in the deck. For a 2-player game, remove all the 1s, 2s, and 3s. In a 3-player game, remove the 1s and 2s. In a 4-player game, remove all the 1s. Let each player choose a color and take the score token and reference card that match. Give each player 1 confession card from those set aside. Then add 1 confession card to the main deck, discarding any extras out of the game. Shuffle the main deck and deal 11 cards to each player. However, in a 5-player game, deal out 10 instead. Then set the deck down next to the game board. If not playing with the advanced play rules, you won't use these special cards, so they can be returned to the game box. To include them, shuffle the 6 special cards together and deal 1 to each player face down. Add 1 more to the main deck and remove any extras to the game box. You'll need to reduce the number of dealt cards to each player by 1 from the main deck when adding the special cards. Now you should randomize a start player and give them the chainsaw token and briefcase. You're now set up and ready to play. Players start the game with a hand of cards containing a confession card and suit cards of various ranks. There are 4 suits, with ranks going from 1 to 15. One of your goals is to acquire the suit cards to add to your personal collection, which will score at the end of the game. Each suit has a different scoring method, which you can quickly reference on the back of your reference card. Players will take turns in the game leading meetings, which is the name for all the cards played in a single turn. It's a trick-taking game, so you can think of the meetings as tricks. There may be a trump suit that beats the leading suit, but in this game, it's called the killer suit. The killer suit can be changed throughout the game, round after round. Once each player has led a meeting, the round ends. The game will play through 5 to 8 rounds before the game's over. In a 2-player game, you'll play 8 rounds. In a 3-player game, play 7 rounds. In a 4-player game, you'll do 6, and with 5 players, play out 5. You can expect to have 2 to 4 cards still in your hand at the end. Those remaining suit cards will be added to your collection automatically before final scoring. The active player with the briefcase is known as the leader and draws a scene card. They will choose one of the 2 options on the back to be the current rule or condition for that meeting. Then they begin the meeting by playing a suit card face up on the table. Going clockwise, each player must follow suit and play a card from their hand that matches the suit. If they don't have one, they can play any card they want. Additionally, a confession card or special card could be played instead of a suit card to follow. The winner of the meeting is the player who played the highest rank in the suit the leader played initially. However, if a killer suit has been designated, the highest ranked killer suit card wins. The winner may gain one of the played cards and either add it to their hand or directly to their collection. You can't gain the card you just played. The rest of the cards played in the meeting will be discarded to a discard pile. Depending on the current rule conditions found on the scene card, one or more players may be forced to draw a murder card. Every third murder card earned is a victim, which may lose you points at the end of the game. Each victim will be a -1 point for you at the end unless you have the most victims. In that case, you gain 1 point for each. The murder cards have text and abilities found on their front, but you won't use them unless playing with the advanced play rules. I'll explain more on that later. Whoever has the briefcase is the leader and will start the meeting, making up a single turn. First, draw the top scene card and place it face up in the slot below it. Read both the A and B rules and choose which side you'd like to be active. Cover the unchosen side with the notepad token. Whenever the scene deck empties and you should draw a card, reshuffle them all to create a new scene deck. At the start of the round, meaning this leader also has the chainsaw token in front of them, the leader may also choose or change the killer suit. Pick one of the 4 suits and mark it on the game board with the large cufflink token. Next, the leader reads aloud the rules chosen for this round, either A or B. The bottom section in the red describes how a player would draw a murder card this turn. Whenever a scene's rules contradict the normal game rules, use the scene's rules. The leader must now lead the meeting by playing a suit card. If the leader only has special cards in their hand, the next player in turn order who has a suit card must lead instead, with you following last. The new leader will also choose the A or B of the scene. In the following turn, the player still leads as if they just didn't. Players follow in turn order, playing a card from their hand. Players must match the suit if possible, or play a killer suit card, or play a confession or special card. The killer card trumps the leading suit. A confession card will let that player pass the turn and take no negative effects. The special cards are used in the advanced play and have variable effects. To resolve the meeting, compare the played cards. The player with the highest ranked killer suit card wins, or highest ranked lead suit if no killer suit was played. Make sure to check the scene card's special rules to see if there's any altered rules that changes who wins. The winner of the meeting gains 1 card played from another player. Suit cards can be added to your collection or hand. A confession or special card can be gained but must go to your hand. The remaining cards are discarded. A player's collection is their suit cards on the table collected in front of them. It's best to splay them out in 4 columns, 1 for each suit. If there's ever a tie to win a meeting, tiebreaker goes in turn order, starting with the leader. Sometimes a scene card's rules will have you clear the killer suit. Remove the cufflink from the board. There won't be a killer suit until a card ability changes it or a new round starts. Whether you lose or win the meeting, every player should check the murder conditions on the scene card and see if they meet the condition to draw a murder card. If so, draw a murder card from one of the 3 piles. Each time you draw a murder card, you draw them in succession. First, you take a song card. If you have a song card, you then draw a weapon. If you have both and you draw another murder card, draw the victim card and return the song and weapon cards to the stacks. The next murder card you would draw is the song card again. Should anyone take the last victim card in the deck, the game immediately ends. Otherwise, continue by passing the briefcase to the next player clockwise, who will become the next leader. Continue doing meeting after meeting until each player has been the leader. So, when the briefcase is passed to the player holding the chainsaw token, you've completed a round. Advance the round marker on the track and pass the chainsaw token and briefcase to the next player clockwise. Next, the new leader passes out new cards off the top of the main deck to each player. Each player gains a number of cards equal to the number of players minus 1. If the main deck ever empties, reshuffle the discarded cards to create a new deck. If there aren't enough cards to deal out, deal as many as possible for everyone to receive the same number. From this point on, if any player starts a turn as a leader with 4 cards or less in their hand, that is the final meeting before scoring. If this was the last round, proceed to final scoring. Otherwise, continue taking turns being leader and leading meetings. Final scoring occurs after completing the final round, or once the last victim card is taken from the victim card deck. Remember that the number of rounds is based on player count. 8 rounds in a 2-player game, 7 for 3 players, 6 for 4, and 5 rounds for 5 players. To begin final scoring, flip over the game board to reveal the scoring table to help tally the scores. Use everyone's colored player token to track their earned points as you go. You may discard 1 victim card collected for each confession card in your hand. Next, everyone adds all remaining suit cards in their hand to their collection automatically. This is not optional. Now you'll score each suit one at a time for all players. The asset cards will score you 2 points for each asset of either even or odd ranks. Whichever you have most of, you can score this way. The business card suit will give you points equal to the lowest rank business card you've collected. The reservation suit will give you points based on the single highest and single lowest ranked cards you've collected. You'll need 2 cards to score it at all. Subtract the lower rank from the higher rank to get your points. The routine suit will give you points for your longest consecutive run of ranked cards. For each card in the run, gain 3 points. With only 1 card, you'll still earn 3 points. Everyone should count how many victim cards they've collected. Whoever has the most victims will score 1 point for each one. If tied for the most, they do not gain this benefit. Every player who did not have the most victims will lose 1 point for each. The player with the highest score wins. There's some extra terms clarifications in the rulebook on page 8 you can check if you run into any confusion on resolving a meeting or dealing cards. Playing American Psycho 2 players requires a few modifications to the game rules. For instance, the chainsaw token won't pass back and forth. Just keep alternating turns being leader, and each time the player with the chainsaw leads, advance the round marker. After each round, deal each player 1 card from the main deck. The player leading a round never gets to change the killer suit. The killer suit can only be changed through a scene effect or a card specifies it. At the start of leading a meeting, before you draw a scene card, draw the top card off the main deck and lay it out face up. This becomes an available card to choose to gain when winning the meeting. That way, you don't always have to take the card your opponent played. This card doesn't affect anything in the meeting except as a possible card to gain for the winner. The first card you draw at the start of the game for this purpose also becomes the starting killer suit. If the first card isn't a suit card, discard it and draw until you get a suit card. The advanced play rules are a great way to add more depth to the gameplay and involve using the special cards and the text found on the backs of the murder cards. At setup, add in the 6 special cards by shuffling them together and dealing 1 to each player's starting hand. They'll receive 1 less card from the main deck. Shuffle 1 more into the main deck and put any extras back in the game box. Special cards have unique effects and can only be played to follow. Leaders may never lead a meeting with a special or confession card. Each one explains what they do. There's an overview in the rulebook for each as well on page 10. When following, you may play a special card following the printed rule set. Some can only be played if you can't follow suit. You can use the card during a meeting during the game, or choose to keep it until the end to score points from it. Each special card indicates an end-game scoring method that gains or loses points to the person with the card. During scoring, resolve the special card's scoring just prior to resolving victim cards. The murder cards in advanced play have more game effects and scoring effects through their printed text on the fronts. When setting up the game, make sure you shuffle each set. The song murder cards go face up in front of you so you can read its text. While face up in front of you, it provides a one-time game ability. Once you use its ability, flip the card over to indicate it's been played. The weapon murder cards also come face up in front of you when gained. Each one shows 2 ranks at the top. Anytime you play a card from your hand in a meeting that matches one of the ranks on the weapon, you may change the killer suit. Since some ranks are removed during setup based on player count, you should remove weapon cards that have those ranks as well at the start of the game. When you take a victim card, return your song and weapon cards to the bottom of their respective stacks. The victim cards sit face down in front of you, but you can look at what it says on the front. Keep the rulebook handy and check BoardGameGeek.com for FAQs and extra content. If you want to support the channel, now you can. We've started a Patreon page at patreon.com/MeepleMentor. There's various pledge levels for small monthly support that helps grow the channel's content. You can get access to new content early. You'll get to vote on new game tutorials that come out on the channel and more. But of course, simply watching our videos, liking, commenting, and all of that YouTube stuff certainly helps. Thank you so much. Consider giving us a subscribe if you found this teaching helpful. Stick around to watch another Learn to Play video, or check out the latest news video to learn about what's going on in the board gaming industry. There's always new games coming out. Until next time, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you later.